There. What is going on, everyone? It's me, GoldenNova, the lore laureate, the explaining expert. Welcome to another fantastic custom card review weekend. It's a little early. This is the prologue day. But that's not going to stop us from having a lot to talk about. We have 5 people who have submitted to have their cards looked at on this very Thursday. We might even have more. We've had to do a bit of a schedule reshuffle. If this is your first time here, I'm going to be taking a look at these fine people's cards. We're going to look through at least 5 of them. I'll be grading them on 4 different categories, and that's how we're going to spend our evening. How are we doing today? Meowdy Nover. Perfect response. Mr. Rory Calcos, good to see you. How's it going? Copper City Conductor, thank you for following. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Shauna Hart that got you that gift, that gifty. They went on a bit of a tear last session, so they're probably to thank for it. And I'm certainly going to thank them for it. I'm doing based excellence. How do we submit cards? I am so glad you asked that. Now, down below, there are a lot of links that were just in there, but one of them in particular is my Patreon. This is a little something that I do for my patrons as a thank you for keeping the channel all supported. If you join at $5 or higher, you can get in on this list, and submissions are still open. We're doing it Friday and Sunday. We're not doing it Saturday. Maybe we're doing it early Saturday. We'll see how that works out. But if you join in, submit me some cards, and you'll get a time slot. You can even join in live if you want for a little bit. That's all good. Just make sure you behave yourself, alright? Okay? I'm here to see an update on the Burning Engine. Oh, we actually covered Burning Engine on last week's session! Oh no! Though, hopefully I'll get the VOD of it on the VOD channel later on today. Bought Armored Core 6, made a transgender robot with twink legs. Hey, the twink legs, as we all know, twinks are superior at aerial combat, so good pick. I picked the what are the 4 legs? Are those the poly legs? Because if so, it's on brand. Dinah, good. Currently making Albaz lore. Ooh, heck yeah. I promise to behave. Good. Hey, good. The furry legs. I'll take it. I'll take it. Custom card VODs are a rarity. Hey, I almost have all of last month's uploaded to the VOD channel. I've been better about that than usual. Yeah, I just gotta keep it going. Almost is the keyword. No! Come on! Don't drag me like that! It's my stream! You can't be mean to the streamer. That's against the culture here. Come on. Anyway, I'm cutting the music right now, and we're gonna start recording here, because if I do ever want to get these back on the main channel in a more curated fashion, I gotta use my own recording, because downloading it off of Twitch is terrible because their image quality sucks. So if the stream explodes again like last time, this is why. Okay, 1 second. Alright, it looks like we're doing it. I never thought I'd get so insulted on my own Twitch channel, but I guess this is the day. It's never happened to me before. Never in a bajillion years. Alrighty, so. Recording started. Just wait till I'm on. Oh, I'm ready to get absolutely floored by Pillock. This man keeps all of his most scathing comments for off the clock when we're on stream. Think someone would do that? Just get on the internet and be mean. Who would do that? All right, let's head over to the group chat, and we will meet Almento, who has our first group of cards. There we go. We'll get started here in just a moment. It appears that today we're starting with an archetype called Net Strike. All right. That's a heck of a name. Oh, hey, you're good. How you doing, Almento?
I'm doing all right.
Alrighty, so.
Uh, can I get the screen share?
Oh, right, screen sharing situation. I always forget about that.
Well, because I'm the only one who asked for it. So,
Fair, fair. Alright, let me go ahead and reconfigure my everything really quickly. Get that there. Discord. Vavavoom. Share your screen.
yeah.
Buzzinga. Can I get a confirm button here? There we go. Alright, there we go. How's that looking?
That looks good.
Alrighty.
So, I have an archetype of only monsters to show you here.
Yeah, all of these very much look like monsters.
Yes. Well, I mean, they are monsters if you read them.
They're monsters at some point. I'm not exactly searching Netstrike Orc off of um what is it? The No, why Signet Mining, that's it.
Yeah.
But no, I do like me some continuous trap monsters. I think more
These
decks
are
should have them.
these are monsters that are both traps and monsters.
Sick.
Uh, in that if you want to look at the end, you see they're all of them have effects that are trigger on summon.
That's good. Like that immediate value out of the gate.
Yep. So let's. So you might be wondering why are they named after RPG enemies?
I'm wondering, and I'm hopeful about it.
Because these guys are living enemies out of a video game.
Yes, yes.
Uh, Basically these got so flavor wise, all of these trap monsters, they're random encounter enemies.
Nice, nice.
And the Link monsters are important characters that appear in specific moments.
That's why Goblin is in there. Goblin is the most important.
Goblin's a little like henchman for the Dragon King.
No, no, no. This is some king shit right here. Precious Goblin, wonderful Goblin.
Yeah, so
All right, so shall I begin?
there are 4 level 4 and lower trap monsters, and 2 of them are level 8 or higher. I would like to get one of each of those. Basically, you can pick any. We've got
Oh, from the 2 level range categories.
yes,
Got it.
2 level range categories.
Well, I've got to pick Hobgoblin as mine, so let's go ahead and talk about Netstrike Hobgoblin, continuous trap card. Special summon this card as a effect monster, level 3 fire cyberse monster with 1600 attack and 800 defense. During your turn, you activate this card.
Monster.
Yeah, gotta have more goblins.
It's a level 3 as well.
And it's level
So
3,
it's
let's
level
go! Let's go! Okay, during your turn, you can activate this card from your hand. But if you do, you must special summon this card to your zone a Link monster points to. Okay. When this card is special summoned as an effect monster, destroy a card your opponent controls. That's just free removal.
Yep. It only works as it only works as a hand trap so long as you have a Link monster with an open zone.
Yeah, and it has
This
to be
is
your
something
turn,
that
right?
all of the no,
Because it says during your turn you can activate this card from your hand.
it's not meant to.
Oh, so I can just ignore this
During
part.
your, it's supposed to be at any point. It's supposed to be able to activate on any player's turn.
That's some nonsense.
Right.
Okay, okay. That make hey, I'm not complaining. Goblins being better at stuff is my steez.
Yeah. So we could go Dragon or Celestial. We've got Board Wipe or Soul Charge.
Oh, I'm definitely looking at Netstrike Dragon. Dragons are just below goblins on my fantasy creatures that I will bug out about. Netstrike Dragon is a continuous trap card. To activate this card in the hand or spell and trap zone, you must tribute 2 monsters or 1 link monster whose link rating is 2 or higher. Special summon this card as an effect monster, which is a level 9 Dark Cybers, 3000 attack, 2800 defense. You can activate
Generator
this card.
support.
Generators!
Because you contribute the generator tokens and it's a level 9.
Yeah, so just more things for Dire to get excited over. You can activate this card from your hand, but if you do, you must special summon this card to your zone a link monster points to. You can only activate the following effect once per turn. While this card is an effect monster, quick effect, destroy all monsters your opponent controls.
Yep.
Now that's a pretty solid breath weapon.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed that that last effect does not have a once per turn.
The once per turn that features up in front of it is supposed to be the once per turn. You can only activate
the fallen
following
effect. Never mind. Okay, I'm just not good at. Everyone, get your jokes in the chat. Say your Yu-Gi-Oh joke. Okay, never mind. Still, quick effect Raigeki, pretty solid. People are already going wild over just one quick effect removal, Trident, having a whole board. That's outrageous.
We should go for Goblin next.
Yeah. Okay. Netstrike Goblin.
Unfortunately, this guy does not work with goblins.
C'est la vie.
What can you do?
Oh, well. Netstrike Goblin. Link 1, Earth Cybers monster, 200 attack, requiring any Netstrike monster as material. Emily, thanks for subscribing at Tier 1 for 11 months. Thank you so much. It takes 1 Netstrike monster as material. If you would link summon this card to the extra monster zone, you may use a face-down spell or trap card as link material instead. If you do not control a Netstrike monster, or there is not a Netstrike trap card in your graveyard, you cannot use this card as link material. Also, negate this card's other effects. If a Netstrike monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, target a Netstrike continuous trap in your graveyard and set that card to the field.
This guy is simply important for actually getting turn 1 plays off the ground.
Yeah,
because
so you would like
set a card face down. You create Goblin. Goblin can, as long as you're playing Netstrike, Goblin can recover the Netstrike card you used, and you can start special summoning your other Netstrike monsters.
Yeah, no.
Because you have a link, you have a zone, a link monster points to.
Yeah, now you got one right there. I also, and I'm sorry I keep trying to find reasons that these cards are a little busted, but Netstrike Goblin saying any Netstrike monster and not a non-link Netstrike, that means we can like summon a Goblin and then link it off into 2 more Goblins, right?
Sure, but what does that do?
Oh, it fills up your graveyard. What it does is going to be specifically for whatever deck wants to mess with it, but they can do it.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah, excellent starter, gets things going, and if, like you said,
it's a
all
link
good
one
reasons.
that actually has to exist for the archetype to work properly.
Hey, and I ain't complaining, cause it's more goblins.
Yeah, so we can do Wyvern or Ogre.
I'm down with Wyvern. Let's check that one out.
Yeah.
So, Netstrike Wyvern is a Wind Link 2 Cybers monster with 1600 attack, requiring any 2 Netstrike monsters as material. If this card is tributed for the activation of a Netstrike trap card, draw 2 cards. Ooh. You can only
go plus off of the activation of Dragon or Celestial.
Not bad, not bad. You can only activate the following effect of this card once per turn. Monsters other than Netstrike monsters this card points to cannot attack for the rest of the turn. And Netstrike monsters this card points to can attack directly. So it just picks up the monsters and throws them at your opponent.
Yeah.
Hell
well,
yeah.
They actually just get on the Wyvern and fly and ride it.
That is a more charitable way to look at that effect.
No, it is a very funny image thinking of Dragon being done with this.
But okay, no, yeah, so this gets us in for direct damage, and if we need to make a bigger person, there we go. It's more draw.
So we can let's do Fire Giant, he's a Link 3.
Fire Giant. Okay, Net Strike Fire Giant. Link 3 Fire Cybers monster. 2500 attack. Requiring 2+ Net Strike monsters as material. When this card is Link summoned, target Net Strike continuous trap cards in your graveyard up to the number of monsters used for this card's Link summon. Set those cards in your spell and trap zone face down. Trap cards this card points to cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. Thank goodness someone is doing Link monsters that affect your spell and trap zones.
Yeah.
Other people have done it
I
in customs,
think...
and we should do it more.
No, it depends. If they're in the spell traps, if they're in the monsters, if you got trap cards in the main monster zone, like you got net strikes in the that Fire Giant points to, are they protected?
That's the goofy thing, right? So most of these trap, in fact, I think all trap cards that become
Because
monsters
they summon them
have
as an effect monster.
they have parenthetical text that say this card is treated as a trap card or it is not treated as a trap card. Now,
Okay.
in general,
I think, as far as I'm aware, the trap cards that don't treat themselves as trap cards always do. I don't think it's always the case for trap cards that do remain. I think it's been a little bit since I made Net Strike, but I think I did look into it. I think it is, if it's not treated as a trap card, it always says that. If it is treated as a trap card, it doesn't always say that.
yeah, which is why it's so important to try to clarify that in the card text so
Right.
there's less interpretation on it. I would say, in general, normal trap cards that summon themselves, things like the Paleozoics, those don't count themselves as trap cards when you summon them. But continuous trap monsters are also treated as trap cards in general. So I would say the effect of Fire Giant would work on your trap monsters summoned in your main monster zone that are being pointed to by Fire Giant.
Yep, that was the intent.
Then yeah, I think it works out. And then
Right,
we effectively get to like reborn what? 3 of them?
Yep.
Two if we use the minimal
or
material,
3.
but could be 3. So that's pretty nifty. Alrighty, then I suppose that leaves us with Dragon King.
Yep.
Alright. Link 4 Dark Cybers monster with 3300 attack. Net Strike Dragon King. Also requiring 2+ Net Strike monsters as material. Once per turn, you may reveal all face-down cards this card points to. Until the end of this turn, this card can make a number of additional attacks against monsters equal to the number of Net Strike trap cards this card points to. When this card destroys a monster by battle, you may set a Net Strike trap card from your deck or graveyard to a spell or trap zone this card points to. If this card does not point to a spell or trap zone, add that card to your hand instead. Okay, alright. So it gets big. It lets us show off our ones we haven't activated yet. It's pretty huge. Can get up to 2 attacks per turn. Or is it additional? It gets up to 3 attacks per turn. And then it just gets you value
4.
when you destroy stuff. You get up to
Can
4?
do up to 4.
Huh?
Because it has 4 link arrows.
Oh, right. It can... Right, the way this deck works. Oh, right. Because you're revealing face-down cards, but that doesn't have an effect by itself. You're just doing that to get the extra attacks.
Yeah.
Okay. So it can get 5 attacks.
Yeah.
Good.
It is the final boss of the it is the game's final boss.
Yeah, I can see why. It's huge lethal. Holy cow.
But it can only attack monsters with the additional attacks.
Thank God. I'm glad there's a little bit of balance going on here, but still pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well that's pretty nice. Do we have any other combos or anything we haven't had a chance to look over before we
I was
start
considering
checking out
making it open to general cybers, but I felt like that would just make it be just extra cards for cyber soup.
Well, I mean they are cybers.
Right. But the link monsters require net strike specifically.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think that was probably a good idea.
Why don't we look at, like, I think we have enough time for 2 more cards. Let's look at Cultist or Fairy.
Boom, okay.
They're the middle 2.
Netstrike Cultist, continuous trap card. Special summon this card as a level 2 Wind Cybers, 1000 attack, 1400 defense. During your turn, you can activate this card from your hand, but if you do, you must special summon it to a zone a link monster points to. When this card is special summoned as an effect monster, target a card in your opponent's graveyard and banish that card, and if this card was set before you activated this effect, its effects are negated, as well as the activated effects and effects on the field of monsters with the same original name. It sounds like you made a Called by the Grave for the archetype.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
But no, I do like it as modular. If you need it, if you need to snap it out of your hand, it's a DD Crow. But if you get the little extra time, it is the full thing. That's pretty good. I like it.
We could do Fairy as well.
And yeah, continuous trap card. It has our usual text, Netstrike Fairy. This time it's summoned as a level 1 Water Cybers, 800 attack, 1600 defense. When this card is special summoned as an effect monster, target one card on your opponent's field, return that card to the hand, and if this card was set before you activated it, you can set a Netstrike continuous spell card from your deck. Oh, there are spell cards that we haven't had a chance to look at.
I meant to say continuous spell trap.
Oh, so instead it gets us a free monster.
Yes.
Okay. Hey.
But it has to set it. So
yeah, so we'll be stuck there for a turn.
I had initially typed this weird. I went in and edited it. I guess I must have deleted spell trap.
Okay.
So we could do Netstrike Ogre. We might have enough, or Orc.
Ogre.
Oh, Oracle. Yeah.
Link 2, Earth Cybers, 2000 attack, takes 2 Netstrike monsters. This card gains attack equal to the attack of Netstrike monsters this card points to. If this card is tributed for the activation of a Netstrike Continuous Trap, send 2 of your Netstrike Continuous Trap cards from your deck to the grave.
Why don't we look at a Celestial, the card that's this card benefits the most?
Willing monsters live to a higher. You can activate this card. What's its unique? I assume it does all the same stuff that Dragon does.
Yep.
Okay, you can only activate...
It's level 8, but it's the inverted stats.
Well, this card is an effect monster. Quick effect, target a link monster you control. Set a number of... Netstrike continuous trap cards from your graveyard up to the link rating of the targeted link monster.
Yep.
Okay, so Ogre sends more. We summon Celestial. And then if we have any link monsters left over, it's just, like you said, the Soul Charge.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I dig. Let's go ahead and assign some numbers. Let's do a little grading. As I grab the document, it's hiding here somewhere. Boom. All right. So, novelty.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, this is the first trap monster deck that cares about link monsters. I know Paleozoics have the link monster, but they don't integrate it in there. It's like an additional extra deck choice that they have, so I wouldn't really count that. And trap monster decks are already fairly uncommon as they are.
Technically, trap tricks, but again, a similar situation to this is the only trap deck that actually tries to link climb.
Yeah, I would definitely draw a big delineation between this and Trap Tricks very easily. So
yeah,
I think this is a 5 in novelty. I like where it's going, and once again, it's link monsters affecting our spell and trap zones. Get on this, please. Okay, objectivity. So I noted earlier about the whole goblin thing. That's a problem that happens sometimes whenever you have link monsters that can just loop into themselves. There are some goofy grave strategies that are fed into that one. That being said, though, as a deck that is full of continuous trap monsters, it'll be hard to get the 5 monster threshold for something like Pot of Avarice, or using it for like any random monster material for stuff. While these monsters have to use net strikes, as Cyberses, they do work with all of the cyber support out there. So, like, the higher link rating net strikes can randomly just be all like, oh yeah, and now we have Terahertz, and then Terahertz accesses all of that stuff. So we do have a powerful additional engine to work with. The problem, I think, is that the Cybers decks that are using that stuff are already pretty quick, and I don't know if they want to necessarily... I guess bogged down is the wrong word. You've already put in a lot of ways to get the net strikes into rotation
Right.
quickly.
There is also the fact that they are quick effect summons, and they all have an ignition effect, which are interaction. They're good cards for going second and going first. They're a little weaker, but because you're just not having any targets for their effects.
That's true. Yeah, now that I talk about it more, these do add a lot of utility once you get your link monsters into rotation. Now that when you give yourself those zones,
Yeah.
I the problem is that Cybers, outside of Master Duel, of course, isn't like a big, powerful deck at the top tables. This might change something, but I don't think it would change too much. I still think it's okay with a 5 in objectivity. I don't think it busts anything open. It gives them more options, but I don't think it turns them into like a huge format warping super threat.
Right.
Versatility. On that note, any Link deck can just tech in Net Strike continuous trap cards as free
Any
material.
Link deck that can use Cybers monsters and trap cards.
Oh, okay, yeah. Anyone that like limits you to particular types obviously wouldn't work.
Right.
But in general, decks that use Link monsters, and I would say fairly big, I wouldn't say like they splash in Link monsters, but if their core strategy is that you get monsters essentially that summon themselves at quick effect speed that give you some value, and then you can link them off into other things, because these do not have a restriction that say you can't use them for anything.
Yep.
So
the only restriction here on what they can be used for exists on Goblin if you don't have a Net Strike in your grave or on your field.
Yeah.
Or a different one.
Yeah, that's that whole deal. Heck, by dint of Goblins, I guess not material, because if you set like a random spell or trap card, that can be used as material, so that would mess it up.
Yeah.
But outside of that,
an option for that. That's like a higher lean Net Strike quantity deck could use. Like, let's say you're going first, you've got like 2 Net Strikes, and you really need to use them, but you've got like a Dark Ruler no more. You can set the Dark Ruler no more, use that as material for your Goblin. Then you can summon the Net Strikes from your hand. Goblin will be online.
Yeah, so it's fairly easy to plug into any deck that has that prerequisite. So, and Link is one of the most widespread monster types using extra decks now. So I think that's a 3 in versatility. A ton of decks can run this stuff. And awesomeness. Look, it's video game monsters being made up for a big ol' mob that do a ton of effects, and it's got goblins, and it's got dragons. I'm an easy mark. I get excited about stuff like this, and it doesn't hurt that the infrastructure of it lends itself to some pretty cool stuff, too. 5 in awesomeness. Almento, that's an 18 out of 20 on the Nova scale.
That is
for
my
Net
highest
Strikes.
score.
And I couldn't be happier.
What?
And I couldn't be happier.
Oh, I think I just heard you. I think I heard you just say I couldn't be happy.
Well, that was mostly correct. There's just a couple word letters at the end that they got missed out. Almento, thank you so much for sharing. I super appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I will catch you next time, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye. Everyone say bye to Almento. Bye. Alrighty. That was righteous. All right, I'm going to stop screen sharing this right now. There we go. Now I can return everything to its predestined size. And we can return this. How are we all feeling on Net Strikes, folks? I dig them. I think they're the bee's knees. The Beezus Kneezus, if you will. Don't listen to me on that one, though. That was actually effectively terrible. Let's go ahead and grab Pillix cards, because we're going to have him right here in just a minute. This goes right here. Fun fact, there was going to be Futaba's archetype while I was making the Persona Customs. Oh. We got 1,000 channel point redeemed from Ebony. Where's the Trihorn Dragon support at? Where is it? I don't know. It's. Look, you just had a Memento card come out. Why aren't you more happy about that one? Yeah, I did have one, and then they made a twin-headed Thunder Dragon one. They're taking my style. That little jerk. Well, I mean, I don't know, man. Look, people have been making You had a whole archetype last month that someone made of you. Oh yeah, that was pretty good, wasn't it? I think it was pretty savage. Yeah, makes sense. All right, everyone, it was good to see you. Take care, bye. What a good lad. What a grand lad. Alrighty. Swap this over to. Oh, and of course it'll need to recognize that Discord is on here. Boom. There we go. Looking good. All right, I think we're ready for Pillock. For more Pillock. Oh, it's more Dynamist cards. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Back by unpopular demand, me.
Woo! Let's go! Folks, editor for the channel, Great Big Pillock, has graced us once again with their presence. How you doing?
Hello. Right, and after that release roundup, I think I need a bloody holiday.
Hey, see, you said that, and then you were like immediately like, give me more work.
Actually, I just like, well, I told you about this, but I finished it, and then I immediately ended up in hospital for unrelated reasons.
Right, fair enough. I'm so sorry about that.
Would not recommend.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Right, on a lighter note, I promised you Dynamist last month. Here it is.
Yay! I love Dynamist. They're so cool.
Okay, and also, full disclosure, I'm not a Dynamist player, so I might have completely missed with making this support work, so... That one was unintentional, I swear.
Alright, all Dynamist stands in chat, get ready to be excessively critiquing about this.
Dynamist, I wanted more Transcendosaurus good stuff. Oh, yeah, Transcendosaurus, aka the biggest disappointment I've ever seen out of a deck build pack.
Golly, there was so much hype going into that.
And it just turned out to be Dynasmash's Fury glorified.
Kinda. What was there even anything in like the core set, like the Rex Raptor cards that were any good?
Not really.
Man, whatever.
Tell you what though, if Transcendosaurus becomes playable pure, I'll give it a go.
A dinosaur deck not being a pile, can you imagine?
I mean, there's Dynamorphia, but sidetracked.
Oh, yeah, they don't play any dinosaur stuff, do they?
Well, they can. They just don't. Most of the time, they don't.
Yeah, they just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, all of that talk of what makes a dinosaur deck aside, it's time for
a machine deck.
Machines, yeah, completely unrelated type. Dynamist Velociraptor, level 4.
Velociraptor. Mechanical Velociraptor.
Oh, okay. Velociraptor, level 4.
Yeah.
What's up?
I'm sorry, I should... I gotta shut up for a bit.
Dynamist Velociraptor, level 4, water machine pendulum monster, 1900 attack, 1300 defense with a scale of 3. This one has the destruction replacement pendulum effect. If this card... Oh, for those of you who are unfamiliar, Dynamists have one of two effects in the scales. One of them is destruction protection. One of them is targeting negation, then it blows itself up. It's very fun.
Okay. Also, okay, sorry, Mr. Arkham. Good luck sending the FBI here. They don't give a stuff about anybody in England.
Yeah, what, you think they're gonna fly over there for that? They got a budget.
Yeah. But anyway, standard pendulum effect on our scale 3 Dynamist.
Go. Alright. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Dynamist Speller Trap card or a Dynamic Power Load, thank God, from your deck to your hand. If this card in the monster zone is destroyed by a battler or your opponent's card effect, or distributed, you can add a Dynamist card from your face-up extra deck to your hand, except a copy of this card. Now, I wonder what this is based on.
I already told you, didn't I?
Not this time, but last time. Yeah.
Sorry?
Well, it sounds like what you're doing is you're taking all of the Draco Slayer archetypes and giving all of them a Yama Arashi.
Basically.
And they need it. They need it.
Dynamist needs it.
They need it. We did it for Ignites. We're doing it for
Mhm.
Dynamist. And the fact that the field spells are not surgible is a pet peeve of mine, and I'm glad that we're doing it here.
And to be fair, dynamic power load isn't as much of a crushing issue as it is with Ignition Phoenix, especially. So I do just do a little bit more deflated when you saw dynamic power load on there.
Oh no, I wasn't deflated. I was ecstatic.
You were ecstatic about Ignition Phoenix. You were like silent for 10 seconds, just
okay.
soak it in.
Yeah, in comparison, I can see that.
Thank God for that.
Okay, Dynamist Alos, level 5 Fusion Pendulum Monster, 2600 attack and defense, scale of 6, requiring any 2 non-Dynamist Pendulum Monsters as material.
Non-fusion Dynamists.
Non-fusions.
That's kind of important. Imagine just making this and you get, you can't play it in Dynamist, by the way.
Heckies. Oh, did I say non-pendulum Dynamists?
You just said non-Dynamist. Just skip the fusion altogether.
Man, I'm so good at talking! This is why I have editing software. New Pendulum Effect PogChamp, new Pendulum Effect PogChamp. If a Dynamist card in your other Pendulum Zone is destroyed, you can place a Dynamist Pendulum monster from your face-up extra deck in your other Pendulum Zone, and if you do, you can increase or decrease this card scale by 3. Or
make it 3.
Oh, 2, 3.
Yep.
Oh.
So basically,
wait, how would it increase its scale to 3 then?
Keep reading.
Or if this card's pendulum scale is different from its original pendulum scale, change this card's pendulum scale to its original value.
So basically, the idea is you have it's not a scale 6. You'll probably have a scale 3 in there, so you can pendulum summon with it.
Yeah.
So and then you do a protection of a battle card effect, and you blow it up. You put a scale 6 from your extra deck into the scale, and then change itself to 3, so you can still pendulum summon, and vice versa. So you're going back and forth.
Okay.
It's a bit strange, but I couldn't think of anything better for a Dynamist fusion pendulum effect.
No, like now that you've talked about it, I get it. The fact that it says increase or decrease this card's scale to 3, like, messes with me because you can't increase it to 3 ever, and the second effect changes it down to 3, but then you revert it back to 6.
Yeah, just in case you end up screwing with it in some other way, like say, God, well, I know it's a spell card that can do it, but I just don't remember what it is off the top of my head. I know it's quite an early pendulum card.
No, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, but yeah, okay.
I'm just stumping out the corner cases.
All right. If this card is tributed, this is the monster effect. If this card is tributed or destroyed by battle or card effect, you can place it in your pendulum zone. You can only use one of the following effects of this card once per turn, and only once per turn. If your opponent activates a card or effect as a quick effect, you can activate this effect. The activated effect becomes destroy a Dynamist card your opponent controls. If your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card you control, quick effect, you can target a Dynamist card you control that would be an appropriate target for that. The effect now targets the new target. So, its effects changing.
Yeah.
And targeting redirection.
Yes, to basically force your opponent into walking into your scale effects.
Hey.
And it will trigger Dynamist Charge.
Yay! This is pretty good to me.
Yes, I am future-proofing the fringe cases. Renegade Zero? Did I pronounce that right? I don't know.
Not sure.
Well, best either here nor there.
Hey, welcome to the world of Twitch, where people come with their really cool names, and you have to figure out how they're pronounced on the fly.
Otherwise, they just punch the keyboard during sign-up.
All right, Dynamist Parasauro.
This is the Parasaurolophus I promised you last month.
Parasaurolophus! It's beak time, baby. All right. Link 2, Machine Water Effect Monster, 1900 attack with the 2 left and right downward pointing arrows. We've got the Charmer arrows. 2 Pendulum monsters, including a Dynamist monster, are the material. If this card is Link summoned, you can special summon a Dynamist Pendulum monster from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck for the rest of the turn, except Dynamist and Draco Slayer monsters. If a Pendulum monster this card points to is destroyed or attributed, you can place this card on the bottom of your deck, then draw a card. Huh. So
I wanted to keep it simple, basically.
So it gets destroyed, but instead of filling up your extra deck as materials for later,
Like,
you
so
trade
you've
for a
got-
draw.
Yeah, so if you've got some redundant material and you've already wasted your Dynamist charge because that's mandatory, you still get some value out of it, essentially.
I can dig that. I can dig that.
And this is the new A of the batch. And dear God, why is new A a secret?
I don't know. They hate budget players.
Yeah, I mean it'll probably be a worthless secret, but that's beside the point.
It's the principle of the matter.
Yes.
Ah. All right, last one. Dynamist Roar. Quick play spell card. Activate one of the following effects. Either fusion summon a Dynamist fusion monster using materials from your hand, field, or pendulum zones as material.
Oh, I misspelled pendulum. I'm a failure.
Oh no!
Massive typo. Oops.
Wow, man. Or target a Dynamist monster you control and it's unaffected by your opponent's card effects this turn. You can only activate one copy of this per turn.
Yeah. Also, Konami killed God? What do you mean? Konami doesn't do good things.
Konami's not an SMT protagonist. Get it together. Alrighty, well, that is certainly a nifty batch of Dynamists. So I can see the influence of what the new Magispector support did for the design on these ones. Was there anything else about their design or construction that you wanted to touch on?
Well, not in particular. I was just like I said, I'm not a Dynamist player, so for all I know, I could have completely missed what they actually needed by making all of this. But I did run this by some friends first, and they said it needed work. So this is it, post work. I don't know if it's good or not. Any Dynamist players in the chat? Care to correct me? I don't know.
I'm trying to think, because we have covered it on the channel beforehand, but you know me, I can cover something. I'm not an expert about it. I do know that it's like they want to go wide. They want to fill out the not Rex, the other big Dynamist game ender.
Spinos?
Spinos, thank you. They want to load up Spinos with 2 tributes so that you can like auto kill your opponent.
I mean, I know that their searcher is kind of rubbish because Terra is it Terran? What was it called? It destroys on battle. It searches on battle destruction, which
charges a Rhoda, and their additional search in Terra, does require you to succeed in the battle phase.
let me just. I want to check the text on this actually. But hang on, okay, here we go. When the card destroys them, okay, never mind. That's not during damage calculation, annoyingly, so it's not ash proof. That's stupid.
Oh, Terran?
Terran's not ash proof. If I'm not mistaken, when it destroys something by battle, I don't know if that is ash proof.
If it triggers on battle destruction, it's during the damage step, and anywhere during that point, ash can't.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I should have known this. I'm a Warrock player, for crying out loud.
Yeah, man, get it together. You're the only guy out there wielding the Warrock flag. You have to represent him better.
I mean, in my defense, Fortier does say after damage calculation, so it's kind of obvious.
Fair. Okay, so as far as what they need, I mean, as far as like they have a card that gives them their 1-card pendulum scale in Howling. They have the multiple searchers.
And yeah, they can play control by setting up Howling, and I think Alos contributes to that quite a lot, just by changing an effect once per turn. And getting some use out of your pendulum scales. I mean, most of the time they're just there for insurance, and I just felt like, you know what, let's make it part of the playstyle as well, rather than just being there, sitting there menacingly.
Menacingly!
Oh no.
What I do like is that Alos is a level 5, so we can instant fusion it out. It pops itself because of instant fusion. It goes to the scales because of that. So it has like longer term usage once you play it. It'll just go away once instant fusion goes away.
Oh, I should have put the. I should have put a clause on that. Must be fusion summoned with the above material or pendulum summoned.
Well, too bad, buddy.
Oh, well.
Generic card.
Oops, my bad.
Oops. I don't think it's gonna cause much of a problem. We're gonna find a way to
No.
jam that no matter what.
Considering that, well, I mean, chances are they're going to be using Millennium Eyes Restrict instead of this, but if they want to deflect hand traps,
They have the options. They can do it.
boil the kettle with fusion summoning. What?
It's time to get steam.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
The searching the Dynamo Spell or Trap card is actually huge because, yeah, Charge is its own search, so Velocer might as well just say search any card in the archetype, which is good. And it's repeatable, so...
Also gets you Howling if you need it,
And
or...
also gets you Howling.
Or
Whichever
what's that
one.
last one called? Or Raw, because, you know, we want to fusion summon sometimes, legitimately.
True.
Oh,
So, yeah.
fusion is instant noodles. Wow, I'm off the ball today. God.
Oh, right. Hey, I didn't pick it up either, so I get you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good. I like these. I think they do a lot for getting our consistency. I think our ceiling is about the same, but our ceiling was already punching directly for game, ignoring our opponent's board. So the higher end on this is already pretty good. So the consistency was the good hit on this one.
Yeah, and also gives you options going first with Alos.
Yeah.
Let's say if they twig that, oh, you're playing, somebody wants to punch me in the face as hard as you possibly can. Okay, you go first.
Yeah. Enjoy, buddy.
Okay, enjoy Alos, enjoy Howling, enjoy Barry Statue of the Torrent because I'm a little degen.
Oh, I'm currently withering into a raisin as you say that.
Current it. Current.
'Cause water!
Yes.
Alrighty, well, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting numbers to things unless there's anything else we gotta cover on this.
Not really, but I should mention that Dinos Allos, it's an Allosaurus. It's similar to a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but I think it's slightly earlier. I can't remember exactly.
It's the kind of T-Rex that showed up in the hit Disney CG movie Dinosaurs.
It did. I did not see that film.
I
don't know
so.
if is that a good thing? I don't know. But
I liked the movie, but I was like 8 when it came out, so I was like the target demographic.
I was even younger. Sheesh.
Oh yeah, make me feel old on my own stream, why don't you?
I did tell you. I did warn you.
All right. So, novelty.
Mm-hmm.
So what does this do to enhance or change what Dino Mist does? I know that it was made primarily to enhance what it already does. I don't think we actually have any new spins on this one. We added fusion. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a new mechanic they can take advantage of.
I mean, I know we had Dinosta Power, the mighty Draco Slayer, but
That was always a Draco Slayer card.
yeah, it is.
Ain't nothing about that card says Dino Mist.
No, not really. Although you can have some fun times with... God, what was the Draco Slayer Dynamist card called? I always forget its name off the top of my head. Dynamite Power Load? I think...
How is the... I think the Ignister one for Draco Slayer is Ignis Heat?
no, that's Ignis Phoenix. Dynamite Power Load, I was right. Yes.
The Ignis Phoenix. So it's the first name of the Draco's true Draco form and the last name of the fusion form?
The field spell.
The field spell.
Let's say it would be
Phoenix.
Majesty Pegasus
Majesty
for
Pegasus. So this one is
Dynamite Power Load. I just looked it up.
Okay,
I am
got
totally
it.
cheating, but yes.
There we go. It's okay, Nova, you're still younger than me. Yo, post 30 gang. Let's go.
I'll be 30 in 2 months.
Hey, yo, 30 gang, let's go.
Don't remind me.
Meanwhile, in the ongoing lore of the Secrets of Dragon Alchemy, starring both Draco Slayers and Albaz, exactly. Look, there was a lot of people giving me shite about how the translation in Master Duel isn't supposed to be Dragon Alchemy. It's something completely different in Japanese. I don't care. They put it in the TCG version. So it's canon now.
Someone got fired for that, I'm sure.
Okay, so anyway, it's not. It's actually the same term. Yeah. So commenters are just lying. They're just lying. They don't want to see lore people winning.
And before you are like Captain Raymond Holt going vindication.
I do that all the time.
Rest in peace, Andre Bararo. You were too good for this world.
Too good. Very, very, very sad passing. Holy cow. It's not fair. Okay, so, novelty. We are getting back on track here. I am going to be very focused on this one. I think it's a 3 in novelty for this one. We have fusions. We're actually searching our field spell. I think it's a 3.
I'm down. I'm down for a 3.
Objectivity. I think this is a pretty easy 5. It updates what we were already doing. It doesn't turn this into some kind of furious pendulum soup that wins the game on turn 0 just because all the problem-solving card text is good. I think a 5 is 1.
Honestly, the only deck that won the game on turn 0 was a Shizu tier. So, I'm traumatizing myself by bringing that up. Oops.
All right, versatility. So this works with Draco Slayers. This works with itself. This doesn't really have a lot of outside Dino Mist applications, which is fine. But for this particular one, I think this is just like a 1. It's for Dino Mist.
I mean, it's fine. Yes.
Yeah, it's always been that way for Dino Mist. We weren't exactly teching in Ankylos into our random pendulum decks just to get some free removal.
No, not really. And also back on the objectivity thing. I mean, I know you mentioned instant fusion on Alos, but which you could possibly use to deflect hand traps, like I mentioned. But I mean, which could lead up into Beyond the Pendulum if you're really cooking. But yeah, I think most of the time they're going to be playing Millenniumized Restrict, so probably nothing to worry about.
No, I think it's just fine. I think it's just fine. All right, and awesomeness. It's Dino Mist. It's Draco Slayer lore. It's big mecha dinosaurs powered by steam. How can I not get excited about that? It's getting a 5 in awesomeness.
Steampunk dinos.
Steampunk dinos. Folks, the Steam Orb is at full power. Steam Boy coming to a locals near you. That's a 14 on the Nova scale. Excellent work here. I dig this.
I haven't played Project Steam, actually.
Oh, I want to play Project Steam so much. I see Mother's Basement video. So good.
Was that the name of the video? Sorry, was that the name of the game? I don't remember.
Steambot Chronicles, I think, is the name for it.
Well, doesn't matter. I know that some Fire Emblem characters turned up in it as cameos, but I think it was Ike and Marth, but nobody else. But... it's Codename Steam. Excuse me.
Oh, that's a whole different thing then. Oh, that's the DS game, right? That has
that was it.
Presidents.
My fault.
Okay, that's a whole different thing. Okay, that's also a game I kind of wanted to try out, but I know nothing about it.
Yep, I only just remembered it because I mentioned steampunk dinosaurs. So,
alrighty, well, thank you again so much, and hope you have a good one. All right.
Right. Well, next week I might be bringing. Sorry, not next week. Next month. I know that we made a dig about when are we getting a paramedic archetype. I think I might make it.
Oh, so you put that in the script as a lead up, huh?
Oh, you spoiled that I wrote that part of the script, did you?
Very, very clever.
Right.
All right, take care. Have yourself a good one, all right?
Bye then. Bye, guys.
Bye. Everyone say bye to Pillock.
Bye to
Everyone thank him for all
Pillock.
his good work. You cheeky monkey.
I resent that. Bye then.
All right, bye. Excellent chap. I should work with him sometime. Yeah, Scarlett has a JP friend. Grab her a screenshot. It's the same word. Then comments are just lying. I'm so mad at them. They want to. Okay, I'm putting this down. Hello.
Hello. Howdy.
Greetings. How you doing today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing all right. Let me go ahead and hide Discord again, and we can get your cards pulled up.
If you haven't just pulled them up, I'd recommend reloading because I changed the text of the first one during the last thing because I noticed it was worded badly.
Ah, got it. Let me go ahead and boop, boop, and boop, boop.
Very prepared.
Hey, honestly, with the amount of times I show up with like 40% of what needs to be done, you're all good. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and grab that there. Alrighty, so, new cards. What are your thoughts? What are some ideas? What are some things you want to show off to the audience before we get started?
So it's funny that we've been having some video game related cards earlier because the idea for this archetype came to me because I've been playing a lot of Risk of Rain Returns. I couldn't think of a way I'd want to actually put that archetype over in make an archetype of that out of a reasonably small number of cards, but it got me thinking about characters with 4 available abilities. So I made that. It kind of turned a little bit more kind of MOBA-ish in the design process. But
I was thinking that when you said 4 abilities, my fingers were already headed towards the QWER.
Exactly. In this case, technically, it's 3 abilities and a passive, but let's start by choosing our character and reading Auto Dominus Avatar.
Alrighty.
The leftmost one in the side deck. The only one that's legal.
All the other ones are banned. Get them out of here. Okay. Auto Dominus Avatar is a Link 3 light Cyberse monster with 2000 attack, requiring 3 monsters with the same attribute as material. Other Auto Dominus cards you control are unaffected by your opponent's card effects. If this card is Link summoned for the rest of the game, change the attribute of Auto Dominus avatars you control to the attribute of the materials used to Link summon this card. Then activate 4 Auto Dominus continuous spell or trap cards with different names from your hand, deck, or grave. Also until the end of the turn, you cannot special summon monsters. If an Auto Dominus continuous trap card you control activates its effect, place an experience counter on this card. If this card would leave the field, banish it instead. During your standby phase, if this card is banished, special summon this card, then remove an experience counter from all cards you control, if any. You can only Link summon Auto Dominus Avatar once per game, and you can only control 1 copy of this card.
Essentially, putting as much insurance as I can to make sure you can't get multiple abilities. So the way this works is you have your 3 monsters of any attribute as part of your almost end board. You link them off to summon Avatar, and you pick by essentially which attribute you use. You pick which character you're getting. The 4 continuous spell traps that exist: Passivum, Primus, Secundus, and Ultimus. Passivum has a kind of a passive general effect, and then the traps, you can activate one of them once per turn, Primus, and targeting a monster. Secundus is just once per turn, and Ultimus is once every other turn.
Ooh.
So that's your ultimate ability. It's longer recharge.
All right.
So to make this easier and kind of more comprehensible, I have made these forbidden ones, which are just the effects of that card put on this. So, for example, the next one along is all the earth effects condensed into 1 card. Because that's so much easier to understand than read through all the passives, all of the first ability, all of the second.
Oh, okay, because the continuous trap cards have differentiators depending on the attribute. Okay, all right. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if you used 3 earth monsters to summon Auto Dominus Avatar, it would become an earth attribute monster, and you would get the effects on the the next card in the side deck.
Alrighty. So, Passivum. Your opponent cannot change the battle position of monsters. Negate the effects of your opponent's banished cards and cards your opponent controls that target banished cards. So they ain't touching any of that banished stuff. Don't worry about it.
You're burying it.
Get it out of here. Alright, Primus. Target one opponent's monster. Change that target to face down defense position. Then, if there are 3 or more experience counters on this card, you can banish it.
So, yeah, 1 experience counter every time you activate the effect.
Oh, banish the monster.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. For a second, I'm like, huh? But no, it's actually good. Alright, Secundus. Once per turn, your opponent banishes a card from their field or graveyard for each experience counter on this card. Ultimus. Once per every other turn, banish cards face down from the top of your opponent's deck equal to the number of experience counters on this card, and then if your opponent controls less cards than they have banished, change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. So, like, once they get to, like, 15 banished cards, they're just always flipping face down.
You get it every other turn, you get to sleep their board, stun them all, do a big, I don't know, Reinhardt power hammer down.
Just shake that earth. Get it shattered.
Bury those people.
Put
them under the ground.
Get them at it. Just put them. Get some dirt on them.
I don't want to see that. Cover that with dirt.
Get some dirt on it.
Just rub some dirt on that. You'll be fine.
Yeah, there we go. I feel healed already. Okay. If we make the fire one, here's the fire version. Passive. If damage from an Auto Dominus card would reduce your life points to 0, reduce them to 1 instead. Auto Dominus avatars you control are unaffected by your opponent's card effects while your life points are lower than your opponent's. Primus, target one opponent's monster, destroy it, then both players take 300 damage for each experience counter on this card. Secundus, once per turn for each experience counter on this card, you take 400 damage and all monsters you control gain 400 attack. Ultimus, once per every other turn, your opponent's life point total becomes equal to yours, then you take 500 damage for each experience counter on this card. Ooh! Auto Dominus used Facade. Facade's not the right Pokemon move. That's
Endeavor.
Endeavor,
You're
thank you.
It's okay, you endeavored.
Yes! I was mistaken, but it was flavorful anyway. Okay, so yeah, very, very much Theory of Fire type gameplay. You burn your life points, gain benefits, and then you make your opponent pay for all of it too.
I specifically made it that it would set you to 1 rather than 100 because I really want to be able to use that card, which draws you 3 if you have 1 life.
Oh yeah, the end of the line. That's so funny. Good thinking. That's awesome. Alrighty. Next up, the water version of our avatar. Passive. When your opponent activates a card effect, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. If it is the same card type, negate that effect. Wow. Huh?
You can only activate this effect once per turn for each card type. So you get 1 negate of each type if you can set up the top of your deck.
Okay, that's a little better, I guess. Now, does it check your opponent's card type for that once per turn? Or does it only check if you've successfully negated?
I think it's with the way that it's worded. Sorry, my mouse went over the fire one. You can only activate it once per turn. So if resolve, even if you don't negate it, you have activated it for that card type. So you want to be confident or absolutely just ballin'.
Fair enough. Okay, well I dig. Okay, Primus, target one opponent's monster. The target can't attack this turn. Then look at cards on top of your deck equal to the number of experience counters on this card plus 1. Then return them in any order. That seems like that's going to be helpful for that passive. Secundus, once per turn, place a card from your hand on top of your deck. Then you can reveal your opponent's hand. Then they choose a card in it and place it on the top of their deck. Then if there are 3 or more experience counters on this card, your opponent discards a card. Wow. So, it sets you up for your negate. Immediately just fate seals your opponent. And then once you reach your 3 experience threshold, it is then also another minus.
Yes.
That's awesome. Alright, Ultimus.
Just getting wet and wild with it.
Ooh. Once per every other turn, declare a number of card names up to the number of experience counters on this card plus 1. Then excavate the same number of cards from the top of your deck. If all of the cards' names match the declared ones, add them all to your hand, otherwise place them on the bottom of the deck. That is... I love that. That is so funny.
Theoretically, you could draw 6.
Theoretically.
You just have to be the absolute mind master. You have to have figured out the top of your deck perfectly.
Big Esperoba energy.
No, that guy, what's his name? Like Damien or something from GX who did the drawing under the waterfall until he became Tarzan.
Oh, yeah. folks don't know this, but there's actually a retreat where the pro players do actually go test their drawing powers with waterfalls out in the ancient forest lands. It's an incredible technique. I wish I could go.
I needed to learn. Otherwise, how are we going to get my golden egg witch?
Exactly. I'm tired of eating all these lame ass sandwiches. I deserve a golden egg witch. All right. Next is Autodominus Wind version. Passive. If a card leaves the field by your card effect and is not sent to the graveyard, place a barrier counter on. We got 2 types of counters.
Mm-hmm. This is because the passive can't pick up experience. That's all. It's okay to use counters on this.
Okay, so this is going on the spell card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So that gets a barrier counter on it. If a card you control would be destroyed, remove a barrier counter from this card instead. Primus, target 1 opponent's monster. Return that target to the hand. Then if there are 3 or more experience counters on this card, you can return another card to its owner's hand. Ooh. Secundus, once per turn, return 1 other card you control to the hand. Then negate the effects of a card your opponent currently controls that shares a card type with that card. If there are 3 or more experience counters on this card, instead, negate all face-up cards your opponent controls that share its type. Okay. So we get to bounce. We get to negate their card. More if we've hit our end game. And then that'll also trigger our passive to get us a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think quite often, though, you won't manage to hit the third counter just because, most games end in 3 turns. And also, if your avatar leaves the field, you lose 1 counter on all your cards.
Yeah, so you got to do like a big reset.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Then Ultimus, once per every other turn, place cards your opponent controls on the top of their deck equal to the number of experience counters on this card. Oh, worm?
Oh, worm. Just simple.
Worm.
Just worm them away.
Yeah, just get them.
I'm putting a tornado on myself, and I'm putting you away. Go away. Shoo.
Slorp. All right, well, those are some very interesting variations on the card, and if I remember correctly on the original's restrictions, you can only make 1 of these per turn, and or 1 of these per duel, and you can only special summon this the turn you make it, but outside of that, it doesn't have any restrictions.
You can summon it. You can't summon monsters after you've made it. So, if you can end your board on 3 monsters of the same attribute you don't mind sending away, you can splash this into something else.
All right, okay. I dig. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We do have a little bit of time here, so is there any other design things we want to go over? Any other ideas that you had while making these?
Well, I can think we could have a quick look at light or dark, I suppose.
Light. Okay, there's dark. Okay, so dark. When passive, when an Autodominus deals battle damage, you gain that much life points. When you gain life points, Autodominus monsters you control gain half that much attack until the end phase. Okay. I love being a vampire. Primus, target 1 opponent's monster, tribute that target, then gain life points equal to half its attack. Then if there are 3 or more experience counters on this card, your opponent loses life points equal to the amount gained. Excellent. Secundus, once per turn, you gain 500 life points for each experience counter on this card. Then until the end of this chain, cards are unaffected by other card effects.
I thought I've never seen a card which does that exact kind of thing, where it's everything before this in the chain kind of stops, except for the really big stacked negate, like chain link 4 or more. And this doesn't quite work exact the same way because it doesn't stop like Rota.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't actually affect another card, those effects will resolve. It just stops things that hit other cards.
My kind of mental image for this was going into a shadow form. Like you become invulnerable for a moment.
Yeah, everything just phases through you. Okay. And then Ultimus, once per every other turn, you gain 1,000 life points for each experience counter on this card. Then if you have more life points than your opponent tributes a card for every 2,000 point difference between your life points and your opponent's. Ooh.
Inverted hope for escape.
Drawing, no. Die.
No hope to stay.
That's awesome. Okay, and then really quickly, the light one. All right. Passive. If a monster your opponent controls with attack lower than an Auto-Dominus avatar you control is targeted by the effect of an Auto-Dominus card, negate its effects. Just crush them with your personality. Primus, target one opponent's monster. That target loses 500 attack for each experience counter on this card. Okay, that works together. Secundus, once
You're
per
either
turn.
setting up your other ability or getting your negate.
Secundus, once per turn, monsters you control gain 300 attack until the end of the turn for each experience counter on this card. Then draw a card. Best 3 words in the game. Ultimus, once per every other turn, target monsters your opponent controls up to the number of experience counters on this card +1, and they lose 1,000 attack until next turn. Just make them itty bitty.
Crush them with the force of your personality. Grind them under the foot of loving, caring law.
I can taste. I can hear Merkaba in my ears right now, telling me
You
just
love being negated.
I do. I don't know what to tell you.
You hate resolving your effects.
I hate it. I want to be in God's light. I'm sorry for resolving stuff. Look, just
If you only had normal monsters, life would be so much easier.
just activate the dark hole device right now. Just flatten us with gravity, please.
Please, somebody summon Sophia, Goddess of Rebirth. I want to send all my cards to the graveyard.
Please shuffle me into the deck now, Evita. Get me out of here.
I'm done.
I'm finished.
Create a new world. This one sucks. Make me a normal monster. I want to play 2000 Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, to be a Crimson Skull Bird in a Legend of Blue Eyes progression series. To be wanted so.
To be Hitatsu Michai in an original OCG.
This was fun. This is good. Is there anything else we should talk about before I start giving number grades?
I really wanted to try and get a bit of a video gamey feel for these. You'll notice the only other art I did than the avatar, which is very vaguely traced me with some shapes, is for Passivum, where I put what I thought it would look like on your hotbar. So you've got the tornado counting up your barrier counters. The fire charge goes up as you lose health. You've got the 3 different orbs on the water one, which would disappear. I would imagine go colorless when you used their effect, theoretically. The dark and light one, kind of, those are very passive, so they're just hands. And then the earth one, you've got your banished cards buried, and it holds the monsters in place.
That is
Improves your
that's some
stuns.
pretty cool visual design, actually. I like that.
I was gonna do more, and then I didn't.
Hey, do what you can. I think what you did is pretty good.
Thank you.
Alrighty. So, Ebony Chance, time to hit that with Troll and Lock. That boy's gotta go. No, don't make the boy go.
Lock him away!
Draws wrong. Bird.
Bird won't draw. I just want to hold my whole deck.
Cursive bird. All right. So, novelty. I can safely say I have never seen another deck that takes a mono attribute setup, turns it into a monster that then grabs continuous cards, giving them extra abilities. That is so out of left field, and I really dig how it was executed on. So I'm giving it a 5. This is amazing.
Okay.
Objectivity. Now, you give up a lot to run this. You are at least running a bunch of main deck cards you're not supposed to activate until you get to Dominus. It's a Link 3. It has to be used in decks that conceivably get at least 3 of the same attribute. And then the monster itself is good and powerful, but a lot of them don't have like inherent protections. We're not sitting on like I'm ending the game in 3 turns kind of guy.
They'll come back, but
yeah,
it'll be a bit.
And it'll come back weaker. So it's got like limiters to keep it from being outrageous.
I try.
So I can't look at this and say, oh, the whole game's going to revolve around this, or it's going to make some really unfun board states. I think it's another 5 in objectivity. I think it's just good. All right, versatility. Also pretty good. As I've said a couple times beforehand, multi-attribute decks aren't going to care, but there are a lot of mono-attribute decks. And if they don't lock you out of particular kinds of summons, you have this to fall back on. It's a big bungler that's effects can be tailored towards your deck. Like, you know what you're getting going in there. You can get a bunch of life points back if you're playing a dark deck. You can get a bunch of removal if you're playing wind. Like, a bunch of goofy stuff like that. I think that, like I said, it's not for everything. There's a fair amount of decks that could run this just as a little tech pick just in case. I think it's a 3. And then awesomeness, I know that we said, like, MOBA stuff. We didn't really get into too much about what, like, this thing is, but, like, it's an avatar. It's an expression of what
It's you.
that attribute... It's you. It's another adventure token-esque thing that puts you in the middle of combat, customizing your powers to fit the deck that you're playing. It's an outrageous concept. It does limit your back row usage, unfortunately. You have, like, what, 1 slot open after you put everything there? So, there's
Yeah, but who
that.
likes Labyrinth?
Yeah. Well, there's several people who will be activating...
Nobody.
Oh my God, please, don't kill me like this. You're going to put a marker on my head for this. Point is, it's a really good concept. I love the idea. I think it's amazing. And I think it's so awesome that it's getting a 5 in awesomeness. Auto Dominus is getting an 18 on the Nova scale. This is a fantastic series of cards.
I think that's my highest score.
Well, hell yeah. I think you deserve it. There was clearly a lot of work that went into this. Not only did you have to make gigantic cards to give you the hotbar abilities, you also very helpfully created cliff notes to kind of show what it would do once you had it. So I think it's pretty solid. Good work on this one, and I appreciate it. Thanks for showing.
No problem. I had a great time.
Yay! All
All right.
Well, take care. Have a good one,
You too.
Kobe. Goodbye.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Woe, bird be upon ye. The woe be upon ye image is like my favorite thing. It's so good. It's like, what? It's woe be upon ye. X no Y. It's like, kill them with kindness. No knives. That's a good format. Curse of Ra is good. Ah, the bird. Ah. Mono element deck may have a Link 3 as a treat. As a little yum 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 yum. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get that. Alright, got that reset. We've got 2 more. Next up we've been streaming for like an hour, right? Yeah, let's go ahead and take a bit of a break. I know I've got to go whet my whistle really quickly with some delicious tea, so I'm going to go grab that. I'm going to go ahead and throw an ad on as well so that we can get those pesky mid-roll ads taken care of. We're going to be looking over... Let me go ahead and put this up here so you guys can read some of it while you're here. The Honor Thief archetype, we'll be covering those in just a bit. Don't y'all go nowhere, because we're going to talk about more customs in just a bit. Ciao! All right. Enjoy reading. I'll see you in a second. I gotta take my phone on me so I can listen to you goofuses. All right. What have you all been doing since I've been gone? Da-da-da-da-da. Key Gold's archetype will be revealed soon. Thief. Hey, you know, that's why you can't trust Google Docs. They don't have your best interest in mind. They're not going to give you correct spielings. All right, folks, there might be a bit of a food warning if anyone's not a big fan of food noises. I picked up a little something while I was downstairs. I have a now I want check this out. Check this out. I want you to tell me what you think this is just by looking at it. Just give me a guess. Anything else off the top of your head? I was going to crab rave when you're still gone. Well, you can still crab rave now. This is a pro crab raving stream. Waffle bun? Close. Because waffles are made out of, like, batter. It's like a bread thing. This waffle, it's made out of egg. It is an egg, almond flour, mozzarella cheese landing pad onto which you can place meat. Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? Modern science is incredible. That's actually really good. Yeah. It's good stuff. Riot. We need to riot. What's it called? It's called a chwaffle. Cheese waffle. A landing pad. What else was I going to call it? Anyway. Thank you all for going along with my food-based dalliances. Let's go ahead and up the size on this real quick. Let's go ahead and get it below all this stuff here. Zip. Okay. We can read that a bit better now. All right. So, we've got the Honor Thieves. Let's go get the timer started. We'll talk about that right now. So, main deck monsters, Honor Thieves, Merry Men, a level 1 Earth Cyberse monster with 500 attack and 1000 defense. This card is treated as an Honor Thief monster. Makes sense. Got to make sure you keep with the naming convention while also getting your grammar correct. If this card is summoned to your field, you can destroy this card. If this card is destroyed by a card effect, add this card to your opponent's hand. During your main phase, while this card is in your hand, you can shuffle this card into its original owner's deck, then reveal a card in your hand until the end phase. If Honor Thief Robin is on the field, this effect is not optional. If your opponent controls Honor Thief Robin on the field, this card cannot be summoned. Huh. I'm gonna keep reading these so I can get a fuller understanding of how that's all playing together. I'm starting to see where this is going, but I need more info. Honor Thief Adale. Level 3 Earth Cyberse monster, 1600 attack, 1000 defense. Once per turn, if an Honor Thief card is targeted, you can discard this card from your hand and negate that effect, then banish the targeted card until the end of the current phase. If this card is summoned until the end of the turn, the first time an Honor Thief monster would be destroyed by a card effect, they are not. So it's a hand trap that keeps your monster safe from a targeting effect, but then it bamps it out until the end phase. Or until the end of the current phase, rather. That way they're not just, like, stuck, not protecting you for a while. And then if you summon it, it gives you 1 destruction protection until the end of the turn. Okay, alright. Honor Thief Little John, level 4, Earth, Cyberse Monster, 2200 attack, 0 defense. Cards cannot be destroyed by battle with this card. If this card battles a card with less attack than this card, then your opponent can either reveal 2 cards from their hand until the end phase, or discard 1 card face down from their... Huh? So they can either reveal 2, or... Is that supposed to be banish face down? Because I'm not sure if we have a functionality for discarding face down. Because then it'd be in the graveyard face down, and that's a whole can of worms that I think they were trying to not handle, not deal with at all. Waffle omelet du fromage taco. It's a little bit like that. Honor Thief Dawkins, level 4, Dark Cyberse Monster, 1000 attack, 1200 defense. Once per turn, you can have the attack of this card, and this card can attack directly. If this card inflicts battle damage, banish this card, then you can have your opponent reveal a card from their hand and place it on the top of your deck, then draw a card. Okay, so we're just stealing cards from them. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Extra deck monsters. I've been going off script on this one. Oopsie. Extra deck monsters. Honor Thief. Robin. Rank 4. Earth Cyberse Xyz monster. 2500 attack. 2700 defense. Requiring 2 level 4 Earth monsters as material. Here's the big boy. This card can also be special summoned by using 2 Honor Thief monsters on the field as material. Oh, so any 2 on-theme monsters we can stack together. Okay. Thrice per turn, if a card is added to either player's hand, except by drawing, inflict 500 effect damage to that player and increase the other player's life points by 500. Then the added card is revealed until the end phase. Cards that are revealed cannot be set, summoned, discarded, or banished while being revealed. During the end phase, shuffle an Xyz material on this card into the deck. If you cannot return, then return this card to the extra deck. Ooh, okay. Now that's the sauce. Set someone discard or banish while being revealed. Okay. I like it. I like it so far. Okay. Spells and traps. Honor Thieves Camp. Field spell. All Honor Thief monsters gain attack equal to the amount of revealed cards times 100. Once per turn, when your opponent reveals any number of cards, excavate your deck equal to the amount of cards currently revealed. If you excavate an Honor Thief card, add one of the excavated Honor Thief cards to your hand. If you do not excavate an Honor Thief card, discard a random card from your own hand. Okay. Who doesn't love almost generic floodgates? Everyone. They hate them. You might need to simplify this. I'm not understanding the effects at all. So, to my understanding, this is the idea. So, 3 times each turn, if a card is added, except by drawing, so, like, no one's going to go to their draw phase and automatically trigger this, but, like, if a card is added to their hand by searching their deck, if it's added to their hand by putting it from the graveyard back in the hand, if it's on the field and it gets bounced to the hand, that will all trigger it. So up to thrice per turn. Now, this is not optional. This is mandatory. And it can hurt you if you're not careful with it. But if your opponent does it, they take 5, you gain 5, and that card is revealed. So it's like there. And that wouldn't change much other than you knowing what it is. But now it can't be set to the field. You can't set it face down. You can't summon it. You can't discard it for card effects, and you can't banish it for card effects. Or rather, it can't be paid. It can't be used as cost for that. You can't like use an effect that gets it banished because like the game will just block it from being used. So that's what you're doing. You're revealing that off of them. So it's kind of like a floodgate to keep their cards pinned in the hand. And then we have a number of other effects that help with this. Like the Merry Men will, you give it to, you summon it and then it blows up. we give it to your opponent. Then during their main phase, as long as you have Robin, I think they immediately have to use Merrymen, because it doesn't say like at the start of your main phase or anything like that. It just says during the main phase. It might work like how if monsters have to attack, you can't like leave the battle phase without attacking with them. So they might just have to make sure they don't leave the main phase until they activate it. But if Honor Thief Robin's on the board, they do have to activate its effect, which will give it back to you, and then they reveal a card in their hands. They're locked out of a whole other card. Adale's just protection. John is interesting because if it battles a smaller monster, your opponent either has to lock out 2 cards in their hand, or the discard a card face down is still throwing me. Like, that is... The game actively is, like, against cards in the graveyard being face down, so I don't know how that's handled. Dawkins is just an attack card that attacks directly and then reveals a card in their hand, and then you get to take it by putting it on your deck. And the way it's worded, it doesn't like discard the card. It doesn't move it in any place that Honor Thief Robin restricts. It moves it, it adds it to your hand effectively, but it takes it out of their hand first so that it stops being revealed. Okay. I said a million different things there, and I'm sure all of it made complete sense. We'll try to talk through the rest of these, and we'll see if we can put it all together once we're done here. Honor Thief's Giving, continue a spell card. This card is treated as an Honor Thief card. Each time a card is revealed in the hand of either player, you gain 500 life points. Oh, that kind of just like negates, like if you add to your hand, then you would lose 500 from Robin's effect, but you would just gain it back with Thieves Giving. It would still be locked out because of Robin, but it helps to mitigate it. Honor Thief Motto, trap card once per turn. When a card is added to a player's hand except by drawing, that card is revealed, then added to the other player's hand. Yoink! Honor Thief Scouting. If you control a face-up Honor Thief monster, have your opponent reveal an unrevealed card from their hand until the end phase. We already know how that works with Robin. That keeps the card locked out of using it for most things. Okay, and that's the card. So this is some additional stuff. Trick and tips. Robin can counter Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Oh, because it does have to reveal itself. You can pair Robin and Ceremonial Bell to have both players' hands revealed, and due to Robin's effect, no card can be set, no monsters can be summoned. Or you can use Click and Echo or Mind on Air to make it so only your opponent's hand is revealed. Robin also counters danger monsters, and Ohime the Manifested Mikanko from adding a card from deck to hand, and counters Incantation Chalice Line from special summoning an Incantation monster from the deck. So this is anti you reveal cards in hand to do anything. Based. Okay, the Honor Thieves are a group of hackers inspired by the tales of Robin Hood. So they steal and hack the rich who they found gained the money through illegal means. Robin is the leader of the group and is the one who has the final say on who they steal from. Adale is the head hacker. He's the one who masks the group's hacks and erases any way to track any involvement back to them. Little John is the least tech-savvy of the group and often stands guard by the entrance of their base of operations. Though he does guard the base, he tries to cause minimal harm to people who try to enter the base. Sorry. Which, you know, makes sense. It kind of leans on the fact that they can't actually destroy anything by battle, even though they're very big and strong. Very on flavor. Dawkins is the newest member of the group who's still learning who to and who not to steal from, though he's been told many times that they only target the wrongfully rich. He still hacks and steals from anyone he can. Many people doubt him and view Dawkins as a threat, but Robin still sees his potential. Fun fact, everyone but Dawkins is from Robin Hood's band. Dawkins is a fictional pickpocketer from the story Oliver Twist. So we're branching out to all kinds of fantasy tricksters with guile and wit. Okay, so this is an interesting theme. I definitely I'm gonna start putting numbers to things. I when I'm talking, I gotta make sure that I'm talking about it in the Nova scale. That's why he's the only non-Earth honor thief. Yeah, I was wondering about that, so I'm glad that that had like a lore reason for it. So that's good. Okay, so novelty. I can safely say that there has not been a single deck in existence that weaponizes the mechanic of revealing cards in the hand. I just, to my understanding, that does not exist. So I gotta give it a 5. 5 in novelty. Like that's a wacky idea. I love it. Objectivity. Now this gets funky. So we've already gone over the fact that discarding a card face down is not something that the game can do. Now I'm normally like open about like things that the game can allow for because there's like a negative space, but there's just not room unless I'm missing something for cards being discarded face down. They can be banished face down. That's totally fine. And that would be an interesting trade-off, right? Like either you lock out 2 cards in your hand and can't use them, or you banish one face down so you get to keep all their functionality. That's pretty nifty. And if Honor Thief Robin is on board, you can't reveal cards you've already revealed, and you couldn't banish or discard any of your revealed cards, so you'd have to start working on ones that haven't already been revealed yet. So that's pretty cool. Outside of that, so cards revealed cannot be set, summoned, discarded, or banished while being revealed. It does lock out a lot of these mentioned monsters if cards like Click and Echo and Mind on Air are out there, because Incantation, Chalice Slime, and Ohime can discard other cards, so my understanding is they'd be able to discard the other unrevealed cards, but if you can play Ceremonial Bell or the other ones, then yeah, all of their cards can't be revealed, so they can't... Well, they couldn't even activate the effect in the first place. But... Oh, well, I guess that's the thing, right? You can't reveal them if they're already revealed. So never mind, my bad. I'm thinking about it from the reverse direction. So if you can hit them even without these effects, if you can get them revealed, then they just can't activate their effect at all. The taking your opponent's cards is very much a Robin Hood thing. Stealing life points, very much a Robin Hood thing. Very on point on that one. I'm going to go ahead and put a 4 in objectivity. I don't know if its power level is super strong. I think it's decent. Especially because you can access Honor Thief Robin with any 2 level 4 Earth monsters. There's a lot of those in the game. I worry that some of this problem-solving card text isn't up to par. So we're just going to do a 4 in objectivity. Versatility. Will these cards see play in a variety of decks? I don't think so. Robin, of course, is a excellent card for rank 4 decks. Like, it reveals the added cards, so it's like an auto... It does punish searching. And this is during the end phase. So you can make this at the end of your turn, when you're done with everything. Detach an Exceeds material. Go through your opponent's turn, where they're probably going to be doing a lot of searching. Oh, no, because it has 2 materials, so it would detach on the end phase, and then you would still have it on your turn. That being said, you could always just, like, link it away. Its own effect to shuffle itself back is honestly more there, I guess, to keep it from sitting on it forever, which is a pretty good balancing thing, but we could always just link this off for something else when we don't want to worry about adding our own cards. So that's pretty good for decks in general. Hawkins is pretty interesting, because in any deck, it can just deal battle damage and then make your opponent give you a card. That's about the only ones I can think of that would be like... Also, Honor Thief Motto might also be good, right? Like, I believe these are normal trap cards because they haven't added any other subtype on there. So I have to assume you could play this in a deck like Labyrinth to like minus your opponent by stealing their card, and then you could of course transaction rollback this. If you don't have any of your other game-breakingly powerful transaction rollback targets. So I think the versatility here is about a 2. There's like some instances where you can splash this out, but I don't think there's a lot. And awesomeness. How awesome are these cards? I think that I'm going to give the Honor Thieves a 4. There are some things I'm a little wonky on. The interactions and stuff kind of gave me pause. There's a lot. It's an interesting mechanic. It doesn't lend itself to a lot of like proactive gameplay, if that makes sense. It's a lot of locking things out. It's a lot of revealing information, so that's an angle that people are going to find useful, but I don't know if it's necessarily exciting. But I do like the theming here, and I do like that it's specifically it's a sci-fi Robin Hood gang. I think the conceit is really cool. So a 4 in awesomeness, which means that we've got a 15 on the Nova scale out of 20 for the Honor Thieves. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff, Random Pup. Thank you for sharing these rapscallions. These absolute units. I hope you have yourself a fantastic day. Thank you for sending these in. Alrighty. Ba-boom. Let's go ahead and reset all these. Take another big bite of my chawaffle. Good. Ignore the images I sent. Just use the dock. I'll need to reload if you've got it open, though. Yeah, I'll get it reloaded. In fact, we'll do that in just a... Do I mean just a second? Are we good for the next one? I think we are good, because the only thing I was going to ask is if you were ready, but you are here, so I will go ahead and over here, reload. Ooh! Oh, that's clean! Every time Emily shows up with something, I am perplexed and befuddled at their abilities. Check this out. All of these are nicely color coordinated. They're separated into their own boxes. They've got their effects are separated by. This is oh my god. This is good. Let's go ahead and move this over this way. Over there, and move the timer back over here. Boom. All right. I'll need to zoom out though. Yeah, I gotta do a little wiggly woggly, but I think we've got it all framed here. Well, I think. There we go. Okay. Hey Nova, if Konami made an actual Trihorn archetype, what name would you prefer for the archetype? The Trihorn or Horned Dragon? I think Trihorn, because you could like do like different things that are Trihorned. Although on the other hand, you could do like dual Horned Dragon or single Horned Dragon, and then you go to like 100 Horned Dragon is pretty good. So I can see both sides of it. It depends on what the design idea is here for. Anyway, that's not the correct dragon we're talking about, though I would talk about Trihorn Dragon forever. We are talking about Emily Chan's Blue Eyes support cards. But first, I do need to thank Sarah Hyde for rating in with 12 people. Sarah, how was your stream today? What nonsense did you get up to? I believe you and I Wish I Was Dead were doing some nuzlocking together. Doing some soul linking. Hi everyone, it's me. Oh my god, for 17 months! Tier 1 sub. Sarah, thank you so much. Yeah, we did a soul link. Hell yeah. Any fun happenings? We have our first badge and no deaths! Hey, that's good to hear. That is definitely important. Now the question is, have there been like any close calls? Are you happy with the competency of your partner when it comes to Pokemon? Is I Wish I Was Dead at good at Pokemon as they are at building decks? This was the Galactic Admin at Valleywind Works. That's pretty far. That's a lot. Holy cow. He's good. 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 Alrighty. Let me go ahead and get the timer started, and we will begin the Blue Eyes support, starting with Blue Eyes Ashen Dragon, a level 12 light dragon monster, with 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. First effect, you can reveal a Blue Eyes monster in your hand or banish a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck, then special summon this card. And if this card is special summoned, you can destroy up to 2 cards your opponent controls, and if you do, return a Blue Eyes White Dragon to the graveyard. Now, for complete transparency, Emily did send me these a couple of days ago. I gotta have a first pass on this one, and I will say what I said to her, this card is bonkers. Just absolutely crazy. What we're talking about here with Ashen is that we get to have it in hand. We send Bood right from deck, summon this, pop 2 cards, and then put the Blue Eyes White Dragon back in our graveyard to use effects. Some of them have changed a bunch. Oh, and I'll make sure to read them. I'll make sure. But Ashen Dragon reads about the same, and this card is good. It's grand. So, next is Blue Eyes Opening. Continue a spell card, discard a light monster from your hand. Then if you control a Blue Eyes White Dragon, it gains the following effect. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect that targets one of your monsters, negate that effect. You can only activate 1 Blue Eyes Opening per turn. Bood gets cooked and gets ashened. Oh, I'm a crusty dragon now! I'm singed! Alrighty, so if you control Blue Eyes, it gains the following effect. Opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect that targets one of your monsters, negate that effect. So it is targeting protection against your stuff, and it is constant. You can only activate a Blue Eyes Opening per turn, but that is just the continuous spell card. You have it, discard a light, your Blue Eyes White Dragon gains that effect, and then anytime your stuff is targeted, it's just negated. Boom, bing bang, bop boop. Blood, no branded. Now, if I was playing it, it would also be branded, but it's not my card, so. Alright, next. On the list was Blue Eyes Chaos Unbridled Dragon. What a name. Okay, Blue Eyes Chaos Unbridled Dragon, level 12 light dragon ritual effect monster with question mark attack and defense. This card must be ritual summoned and cannot be summoned by other ways. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. If this card is ritual summoned, you can send a... Oh, this is way better than it was beforehand. You can send a White Stone of card from the deck to the graveyard, and if you do, this card gains 1,000 attack and defense for every Blue Eyes Dragon monster in your graveyard. If your opponent targets this card with a monster effect, negate the activation, then reduce this monster's attack and defense by 1,000. Yeah, so this is a card. I'd love to have you read the other 5 times, though. Sounds good. I will do my best to power through these. But yeah, so we ritual summon this. Because it's a Chaos and a Blue Eyes monster, I believe we can use the Chaos form cards. We can banish material out of the graveyard, so it's not that expensive if we have the setup. It sends a White Stone card from deck to graveyard, so we either get to search a Blue Eyes or at the end phase summon a Blue Eyes, gains a bunch of attack, and one targets a monster effect. Yeah, and then it can spend its attack points to negate monster effects that targets it. It's very light and darkness dragon coded, and I love it. It's very funky card. Field Tactics with Eyes of Blue specifically makes this card a beat stick from hell. Ooh. Okay, Blue Eyes Twin Destinies Dragon. That was the next one that was requested. Blue Eyes, Twin Destinies Dragon, Link 2, Light Dragon Link monster, up arrow, down right arrow, requires 2 Light Dragon monsters as material, cannot be destroyed by battle. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn, and only once per turn. You can either target a level 8 Light Dragon monster in your grave and special summon it to a zone this card points to in defense position. The summoned monster's attack becomes 0 and cannot be destroyed by battle. Or, reveal a level 8 Light Dragon monster in your hand, then you can special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon normal monster from your hand to a zone this card points to. So you either get to reborn a husk of its former self, or you get full Blue Eyes. And this card also has 0 attack. I forgot to mention that, but it is a Link monster with 0 attack. Alrighty. So that's ones that were requested. So now we can go ahead and talk about the rest of them. And Field Tactics with Eyes of Blue was mentioned. Let's go ahead and cover that really quickly so we can get the full power of Chaos Unbridled. It is a field spell. While you control 2 or more Light Dragon monsters and no monsters with other attributes or types, all Light Dragon monsters in your graveyard become Blue Eyes White Dragon. When a Blue Eyes White Dragon card leaves the graveyard during your main phase, destroy this card. So we can't be willy-nilly with our Blue Eyes leavings, but it fills the graveyard with Blue Eyes White Dragons. So Unbridled Chaos works with that. It doesn't necessarily work with Twin Destinies Dragon because it doesn't turn them into specifically Blue Eyes White Dragon, but their names become that. Anything that cares about Blue Eyes White Dragon in the graveyard. There's like the Beacon of White, I think, that gives you attacks based on the number of Blue Eyes in your graveyard. The Ultimate Fusion that uses material in the graveyard, it does that. Dragon's Mirror, you're totally right. This can use these as material for Blue Eyes White Dragon. For any of those big Ultimate Dragon monsters, so we can use that. Yeah, no, this is huge. This is big. You do have to have a field set up for to go along with it, though. So you can't just play this and then automatically get all the benefits. You do need to have your Light Dragons. But it does give you a ton of bonuses. And it makes you, like, you want to run a bunch of Light Dragons in your deck now just so that you can get all the bonuses. Alrighty, let's go ahead and... Oh, I remember liking this one. Blue Eyes Atropos Dragon. Rank 8 Light Dragon Xyz monster requiring 3 level 8 Light Dragon monsters as material. If this card would be destroyed by your opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can banish a White Stone of card from your grave instead. You can use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. This one is not once per turn, so as long as you have White Stones of, that's barriers that you get to keep. 1. You can attach 2 materials from this card to declare an attribute, then change one monster your opponent controls to that attribute. All copies in your opponent's hand, grave, deck, and on the field become that attribute, even if this card leaves the field. And if a White Stone of card is in the graveyard during your end phase, you can attach it to this card as material. So you can manipulate your opponent's attributes, which by itself doesn't really do much, but if you have any other cards that care about that, you have the ability to change not just that one, but every card permanently. Like, no matter what zone it's in, no matter where it goes, you can say, oh, is that a water deck? Wrong, your monster is now wind. Get it out of here. And then you get to keep recycling White Stone of cards. So it has 3 material when you make it. You'd attach 2, change an attribute, end phase, get a White Stone of under there, activate the effect again next turn, you get the effect of that White Stone card. Blue Eyes Hatchling of Chaos, level 4 Light Dragon effect monster. If you ritual summon exactly 1 level 8 or higher Light Dragon monster with a card effect that requires the use of monsters, this card can be the entire tribute. So this Chaos Unbridled Dragon, just use this one, and it can also be used for all of the other Chaos Blue Eyes Ritual monsters. If you control no other monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Oh, and then you just get it out of the field just in case, just for fun. Zombie World, but as a dragon. Very Vector Pendulum coded. Very, I will turn you into a dragon whether you like it or not energy. Seto's Call. Normal spell card. Add a level 4 Blue Eyes monster from your deck to your hand. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that is specifically Hatchling of Chaos. Are there any level 4 Blue Eyes monsters in the game? that I'm not aware of. Still nice to have a way to easily ritual summon your big monsters. No, I had to make one. There we go. Okay. We've covered these. Okay, our last one. Our last card is Blue Eyes Fated Victory Dragon. A Link 4 Light Dragon Link monster with the up, down, bottom left, bottom right arrows. This has the Saryuja Skuldred arrows. The Appaloosa arrows, if you will. 2+ light dragon monsters, including at least one Blue Eyes White Dragon normal monster. So you gotta have Blue Eyes in here at some point. This card gains 625 attack for each Blue Eyes monster it points to. Very specific attack value. Each of the following effects of this card can be used once per turn. 1. When this card is link summoned, destroy up to 2 cards on your opponent's side of the field. More destruction. If an opponent targets this card with the card effect, you can banish a Blue Eyes White Dragon normal monster from your graveyard, negate the activation, then destroy that card. So, now, the fact that it says Blue Eyes White Dragon normal monster does mean that you need to have the base version, unless you run cards like Galaxy Serpent, unless you run cards like Alexandrite Dragon, monsters that are already light, that are already normal monsters. Their name becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon while you have field tactics, and then you can banish those as well. So, there you go. 2,500 defense being turned into... Oh, okay. Correct. Now do you get the entire bonus? That's where Twin comes in. Oh, it goes to a zone that it points to! You are correct! You don't give it to yourself, you give it to your opponent. Oh, that is the twist of lime that showed up right at the end there. Okay. So we give this to our opponent. It goes in defense position. So we give them a Blue Eyes. It's in defense position. Give it a 0 attack Blue Eyes. You will not enjoy this gift. Wrong. Be gone. And then you use that as material to help you make Fated Victory Dragon. You get a whole bunch of Blue Eyes in your back row. And if one of them is Chaos Max Dragon, you get to deal double piercing damage. That's like, what, 4? It gets to do 3,000 damage by punching through that defense position Blue Eyes. Incredible. Heck, it just says a level 8 light dragon monster. It doesn't necessarily have to be Blue Eyes. I mean, we do want it to be Blue Eyes if we want the extra bonus for Fated Victory Dragon. But if there's a level 8 light dragon monster with 0 defense, that's just an instant win. Okay. Very, very interesting cards for Blue Eyes. Very interesting. There's like a lot of that adding for beatdown that the deck is that's known for. There's a lot of other strange utility effects in here, but I'm always a fan of adding strange little utility effects. The game is a fan of that. I mean, have you seen some of the legacy support they give some cards? The Hieratic Sphere. Oh yeah, the ball. The ball's a level 8 light dragon. We give our opponent a ball. Boom. I don't know what's the name of the normal... Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I believe it's a level 8 because, yeah, it has to be used for the Xyz strategy, and their big monsters are rank 8, so yeah. Okay, well. I'm looking forward to the Nova scale. Let's see what we've got here. So, novelty. I'm going to move this over here. I'm also going to turn off the timer so it doesn't interrupt me. There we go. Okay. Oops. I tried to make the window smaller. It made the window take up the entire screen. Okay, so, novelty. We're already doing a Blue Eyes deck. So we're already building off an established core. What are we doing differently? Well, Blue Eyes has no Xyz monsters. Normally, if you do Xyz stuff, you're looking at Galaxy Eyes. This is its own Xyz stuff. I guess they have like the one that wins you the duel immediately, but that's like a World Superstars like prize card. I don't count that. This is actually meant to be played in real Blue Eyes, and this is an Xyz monster for a deck that doesn't normally have that. It's also got Link monsters in a deck that doesn't utilize Link monsters at all. So we're adding those to the strategy. We are still doing a lot of beatdown. We are doing a lot of destruction. I do like the changing our names to Blue Eyes aspect. That is a pretty nifty effect to have. Not a lot of cards have large name-changing effects, but turning every one of our on-theme monsters into our specifically named Big Bungler. Excellent. So I think our novelty here as far as Blue Eyes goes is about a 3. We're adding in some new mechanics. A lot of them feed into what Blue Eyes is normally doing, but I think it's fresh enough that we can give it a 3. Objectivity. Now, this is the one that I'm a little sketchy on. So, if you get Ashen Dragon, and Ashen Dragon is searchable by Melody of Awakening Dragon. It's got a 3,000, 2,500 stat line. So we can search this, and we just by revealing it in our hand, we summon it, gets a Blue Eyes effectively set up in our graveyard, and then pops 2. Like, this is a great going second card. It gets to a level 12, which means it doesn't play well with any of our... doesn't play well with the Xyz stuff that you could do, even though Blue Eyes as an archetype doesn't play a lot of Xyz monsters. It's still capable of it because of all the generic rank 8s. This doesn't play well with that, but it is a level 12, so if you have other level 12s, like the Ritual, A, it works as the entire material for that, and B, you can hard make Zeus with this. This is very powerful. This is an easy 3 of. Now, you have to play it in Blue Eyes, because otherwise you'd be risking running the Blue Eyes brick in your deck, which I don't think anyone is going to want to do that. Opening is interesting. It gives us unlimited targeted negation for our monsters. Unbridled Dragon is good. I wouldn't call that busted. I think this is just a pretty good alternative ritual monster to have that can get just bonkers big. I believe all of our problem-solving card text is up to date. Talk me through this, folks, because I'm looking at Ashen Dragon, and I feel like this card is just really, really good. Like, it's just an easy 3 of include in any Blue Eyes deck. It gets you set up while blowing up a board state. Is this card too broken, or does the fact that it's limited to only Blue Eyes give it a pass? Do Blue Eyes deserve to have a free summon plus send Blue Eyes to grave as cost plus double pop? It's not like it'll win Worlds again, even with that. Fair, fair. I think a 5 in objectivity is alright. Ashen Dragon is wild, but I think a 5 is still okay. Alright. Versatility. Does the Sea play in other decks? Honestly, with the ability to use light dragons in general, the fact that some cards punish you for not having light dragons does mean that there's some restrictions in there, but those decks weren't going to be running this anyway. Now that we do have a little thing to incentivize us using light dragons in general, maybe we play more of the Heratic main deck monsters. I'm not sure what other light dragon... Galaxy Eyes, like we were saying earlier, it means that Galaxy Eyes become Blue Eyes while in the graveyard. I'm sure Kite's rolling in their grave about that, but, you know, this is our customs, not theirs. This actually does give you a goofy amount of crossover with stuff. I'm going to give it a 2 in versatility. It's certainly not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but it's better than the one I would give regular Blue Eyes right now. Bestial Albalo, the Bestial! The light Bestial! And all we had to do was sully our graveyard with those dark dragons. Ugh. Also, Lightsworn's Judgment Dragon. You can do it with that Judgment Dragon. And a Widow Baby one. The Widow Baby Judgment Dragon. So yeah, 2 in versatility. Awesomeness, folks. You know me. You know who I am. You know what I stand for. It's a rip-roaring, cool card. It does pops. It changes names. We have a card that gives our opponent a monster with the express purpose not of floodgating them like a cringe duelist like me would do, but giving it to them so that you might grow even more powerful and punch through them with the power of Blue Eyes, and also Voiceless, because there are several light dragons and Voiceless. So I'm giving them a 5 in awesomeness, Emily. The Blue Eyes card's going to get 15 out of 20 on the Nova scale. You can also Chaos Max OTK. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's where the piercing comes from. Yes, excellent work, Emily. Excellent job. Everyone, a round of applause for Emily. Alrighty. Well, thank you very much for sharing these. And once again, just excellent formatting on this one. Blown away. You are setting a new standard for submissions on here, folks. If your Google Docs are not formatted like this in the future, I will eat them. I'm still gonna read them. I'm still gonna review them. But then I'm gonna print it out and then I'm gonna eat them. I've never played a Blue Eyes deck. Emily made support for a deck that she like read about and like heard Kaiba say a couple voice lines and was like, I know how to update this deck. All right, thank you very much again, and I'll talk to you later. All right, enjoy your date. Take care. Alrighty, and that is everyone that we had listed today, but I did have a volunteer from a different day. Delete. If anybody wants to teach me the methods of formatting, I will submit. We'll see. Let's go ahead, and if Zara is still in chat, or if Zara is in chat like they said they would, I can go ahead and pull up their stuff, and we can go ahead and cover their cards right now. Because I've still got some energy in me, and I would rather cover them now while we're here. Give another day a little extra breathing room. But if Zara's not here, we'll just wait until their scheduled time. Also, anyone who is scheduled to present or have their cards presented on Saturday, I would also love to cover them right now, because I will not have time to do it at the regular time. After I breathe in some food on Saturday. So if anyone of those would like to, feel free. Alright. Step 1, use open sans as your font. Step 2, use tables and change the border colors and thickness. Step 3, use paragraph styles that are nice and think about bolding and shading of grays for headers. There we go. The three-step plan. The 3 plan steps, if you will. All the attack and defense boxes actually is a background color for a second cell that matches the border. Oh, I can kind of see that. Like, the regular border for all of it is, like, uniform all throughout, but the cells underneath it are colored the same. So it's their own separate entity. Neat. That's why the spells look like this, because that's how it would normally look, and then you add the bottom for that. Oh. I'm learning. I've got Moral World Legacy cards if you just want to cover cards. Didn't you already go this month? Wait a second. Nah, no double dipping yet. I'm not at the phase where I need to double dip yet. Shaking my sticks. That's why it's a slash J. Oh, and that's why I'm being overly dramatic about it. Alrighty. I think that'll be it for today. I don't think that our other presenters here. That's totally fine. We will be covering them tomorrow. That is right. Today is the first day of a custom card bonanza. If you like this kind of stuff, if you want to see what other people have got and you want to listen to me judge them, then make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure that you can be informed next time I go live, and it helps boost my numbers, and I love it when the follower number go up. I love it here. I love it on YouTube. It's what keeps me going. I wake up, I check my phone for it, and I go to bed checking it at night. It is my lifeblood. So if you want to help give me a little dopamine, you can do that. You can also follow a number of these iconic links. My Twitter, where you can see all of my random updates and nonsense. My Discord, where we all hang out. And, of course, my Patreon. I guess my YouTube is also kind of important there. But my Patreon is there if you would like to join in on the festivities. If you have custom cards that you want me to judge in front of a live studio audience, donating anything $5 or up not only gets you access to that, but a number of other perks, including early videos and my schedule. I am in the process of working on this month's schedule. That's going to go out to patrons soon so that they know what I'm going to be working on the following month. But of course, as I always say, if you aren't able to do that, of course, please don't feel like I do not appreciate you, because just by sticking around and watching all of this means that you chose to do that over watching somebody else, and it is a wide world of entertainment out there, and it is not lost on me that the fact that you chose me over some other people is huge. So thank you all so much for watching. No matter what, let's raid someone! Let's get the pitchforks out, folks. Get the trebuchets. We are going to assault another stream with our kindness and enthusiasm. Who are we going? Whose doorstep will we be darkening on this day? I see Hardleg is streaming. I think I want to go raid Hardleg. He's had he's had to go do some doctor's visits, and he's had to take a bit of a break for stuff. I want to send him some energy. Let's go yeah, we're raiding Hardleg. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's rock. Let's rock the socks. Oh, if he's still, I should probably check to see if he's just starting or just ending. That would be good. Oh no, he just started 20 minutes ago. He's good. Okay, we can raid into him. Okay, folks, once again, thank you all so much for stopping by. Make sure that you tune in once again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central, where we're going to be doing this all over again. Thank you all so much, and I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye.
Stuff. Are you familiar with the band Rush? If they're gamers, Tom Sawyer was on the original rock band, yeah. Invaders! No, don't shoot the invaders, it's just Nova, they're cool. We're going Nova! Yeah, I was just talking about, like, anyone I know who's, like, into music, who plays music,